You need to read this to prepare for what's coming, America. Canada, England, Australia, New Zealand. You'd better wake up. Hello YouTubers, Alaska Prepper here. Ladies and gentlemen, stand by. You need to listen to this. One of our community members sent me this article, and it is a grave message from France to the other Western nations. Now, I didn't know that it was this bad in France. I mean, they're like living in pure tyranny over there. So I truly do hope that people take heed to this warning. And there are some things that we can do in order to keep from becoming what France is going through right now. And I'll talk about that here in the end. I did not know that things were so accelerated in France. And I think this is a very important thing to listen to. That way we can prepare for what's coming here in the United States, because I can already see it happening in several states. Here in France, it has gone to the extreme with the health pass. Last week on the 21st, all restaurants, bars, coffee shops, and any leisure activities like sporting events, theaters, cinemas, museums were closed to anyone without the pass. And all staff at these places are mandated to get the vitamin shot in order for them to keep their job. It is now a 6-month prison sentence if you are caught inside any of these places without the pass. The man who slapped the president in the face only got 3 months in prison. I'm not sure if all of you are aware that here a few months ago, someone slapped President, I forget his name, but somebody slapped him out in public and he got a 3-month prison term for that. Business owners will get a fine of 45,000 euros and 1 year in prison if they do not comply and use the pass and force all their employees to get the vitamin shot. All the low-paid employees quit. They can make more money on welfare here. For now, we can still technically get takeout food. But I just tried last night, and every restaurant in our town that is dine-in with takeout has closed their doors due to lack of staff. As of last week, all doctors, nurses, and health industry workers have been mandated to get the vitamin shot or lose their license, or practice, or job in business. All healthcare here is government-paid positions, and there are no private healthcare doctors or hospitals. See, ladies and gentlemen, once you allow the government to take over any one industry, then you are at the government's behest in order to be able to receive that service. Since the healthcare system is state-run and funded, it has been run into the ground. All the good doctors left France 5 years ago. All the hospitals look like they are third world hospitals since there is no money to repair them. Half of the equipment doesn't work, and not every hospital is stocked with supplies needed for daily need. For 5 years, nurses have been understaffed and doing double the work because the healthcare system is nearly bankrupt. So add this to the mandatory vitamin shot. So this is the result of all of these mandates that they've been putting. They've taken to the streets by the millions, and now all the hospitals just lost another 50% of their staff. My doctor just went into early retirement, i.e. he quit, and I have yet to find a replacement. As of August 1st, all large malls, retail stores, and grocery store owners and their staff need to get the vitamin shot, and the health pass is required to enter for employment and customers. This would be the equivalent of closing all Targets, Walmarts, Costco's, Home Depots, and all major grocery stores. Truckers will be going on strike nationwide, blocking all access roads in and out of Paris. Yesterday, an entire airport in northern France closed due to the majority of staff quitting. As of September 15th, all public areas and access will be off limits. No farmers markets, no parks, no national parks, lakes, rivers, beaches, recreation areas, campsites, etc. And no gathering over 100 people, no churches, no weddings, etc. As of 1 October, all small vendors such as delis, pizza trucks, sandwich shops, butchers, bakers, vegetable stands, etc. will only be able to purchase food by internet and pickup, if allowed. Food shortages, truckers strike, hospitals and airports shutting down, unemployment going through the roof. It's going to be a bumpy ride. Is it me, or does this seem a bit extreme for a pass that isn't exactly working? And they finish it up by saying, America, Canada, England, Australia, New Zealand, you'd better wake up. I think that it is really up to three things for this to not happen like it's happening in France, here in the United States, and in other countries. Number one, the state governors. Any state governor that tells the federal government to pound sand and that they're not going to put up with this and that they're not going to enforce any of this, that's going to be a big plus. Any states where the governors adhere to these tyrannical rulings are going to be suffering just as much as France is today. Law enforcement. Law enforcement have to remember that they took an oath. That they took an oath to protect and serve the people. That they took an oath to the Constitution of these United States. And they have to know what the Constitution says, so they have to actually read it. Too many people that take that oath don't even know the basic Bill of Rights. And number three, the people have to stand up and say no. Just like Bear Independence said, I saw one of his videos here a few days ago where he seemed very aggravated. And he said, it's time to say no. It's time to just use your no muscle, I think he said. He said, it's time to use your no muscle. I went to the commissary here a few days ago, and believe it or not, I mean, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what's going on here? But when I went in, every single person in there was wearing a face covering, and I wasn't. And so when I stepped in, I saw that, so I stepped out real quick to look for a sign that said you must wear a face covering, because you know the commissary is inside of a military base and it is a federal institution, so it has different rules than the rules outside of the military base. But I didn't put one on. They had some available there. I didn't put one on. I just went about my shopping. I hadn't been on base for several months. I hadn't been on base, but I had to go on base to pick up some medication. And I'm like, well, let me go ahead and stop by the commissary, which I'll be doing a video on that soon, because ladies and gentlemen, the prices in the commissary have gone up as well. And as many of you may know or may not know, prices in the commissary are pretty well subsidized by the government. But anyways, I digress. I didn't put one on. I just went about my shopping, and I didn't get any weird looks or anything like that. I just went about my shopping. I did my shopping, spent about 20 minutes in there looking around. I went and paid for my stuff, walked out, no problems. I think that if we leave it up to the federal government, we would be in the same place that France is right now. I think that they're trying to inch forward towards that goalpost of their end agenda, of having everyone restricted to travel, of having everyone under their surveillance 100% of the time. I mean, look at this new bill they're passing. Well, I don't even know if they passed it, where they want to require breathalyzers and also cameras inside of your vehicle for your safety, of course, just for your safety and for the safety of others. They want to have 100% surveillance of your life. So if it were up to the federal government, ladies and gentlemen, we would already be living in 1984 times 10. Everyone get prepared, ladies and gentlemen. Get prepared. That way, if they decide to shut down the economy, we can all be prepared. Because they need to collect taxes. And if the entire country shuts down for a month, they're not going to collect anything. Do you understand? I've always said it always comes down to money. Well, it's not really money. It always comes down to fiat currency. Let's say every United States American citizen or every family was prepared for a month to go without having to go to Walmart or Costco or the supermarket or whatever for a month, and they just kept their money in their pockets and didn't spend a penny, the government would have to borrow for that entire month because they would have no taxes coming in. And once other countries see that the government has no taxes coming in, they're not going to be very likely to be lending money to the US in the form of buying bonds. Because other countries know that the thing that backs up the US dollar, the US Federal Reserve note, the thing that backs it up is the labor of the United States citizen. It is our labor that backs up that phony note, ladies and gentlemen. So once they see that we are not contributing towards paying back all that interest that we owe on a monthly basis, they will be more likely not wanting to lend money to the US. And then the paper tiger will catch itself in a rainstorm and will be exposed for what it really is to the entire world, even to those that are still not awake. All right, I'll go ahead and leave it off at that, ladies and gentlemen. Have a great week ahead. Happy Monday to all of you. Remember to be good to each other. When good people do good things happen. Remember to reach one, teach one, and repeat. If we all did this, the world would be a better place, and you know that it will be a better place. Many blessings to all of you and your families. This is Alaska Prepper. I am out.
Nutrient survival isn't just survival food. It's special ops grade. Built to the nutritional standards of the U.S. Special Ops and packed with 40 essential nutrients. Formulated to sustain energy, sharpen focus, and keep you and your family thriving during any emergency. Real food, real ingredients. Oh, and a 25-year shelf life. Our meals will kick your taste buds in the mouth and have them coming back for dessert. Yeah, we've got that too. So whether you're digging in or bugging out, you don't just survive an emergency situation, you thrive in it. Nutrient survival. Feed your freedom.